What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Cha-Ching, The Girl in the Mountain by Mark Lawrence. So, guys, this is book number 2 in the Books of Ice, which is the newest trilogy by Mark Lawrence, bringing us a little bit past the halfway mark now, right? I'm going to have to get into the Books of the Ancestor because these stories do take place in the same world, and after reading this, man, you start to see those connections that Mr. Lawrence is making, and it's a lot of goddamn fun. Let's get into it. Okay, so here in The Girl in the Mountain, Mark Lawrence brings us back to Abbott, which is a frozen world, and essentially we're going to be freezing our asses off all over again up north. Now, we're going to be picking back up with Yaz, who is our main character, but just remember, too, this story is told through multiple perspectives. So, yes, it is Yaz's show, but other characters still find time to get some shine, all right? Now, here in Book 2, Mark Lawrence is going to open the world a little more for us. We're going to be doing some traveling, and it's just going to get crazy, guys. This is a great frozen adventure, once again, proving that Mark Lawrence is just upping his storytelling game to a level that just is so goddamn impressive to me. Let's talk about that. Now, I'm going to start with what is essentially my con of the books. Being objective and trying to pick things apart, I really love these books. So I'm going to start with what I don't like necessarily, but that's really going to solidify and just boost up the pros of these books, okay? Like, so the number one issue I find with the book, just personally, this is a personal con, not even really a con, it's just I don't really care for the characters, and I don't really care for this type of story, okay? So essentially what I'm saying is this book is it's just something I normally would never pick up. I just wouldn't. No, but the thing is it's a Mark Lawrence book, so I did pick it up. And I'm just blown away with how he's able to capture me, get me engaged into characters I don't care about, into a story I didn't think I wanted to read. It's really nuts, guys. So still kind of carrying over, I still don't care too much about these characters, but that's really just a testament to what he's doing because I am so invested and sucked into this story. The magic in book 1 was kind of both straightforward and a little confusing for me, but I have to admit now coming into book 2, it feels like there's good fleshing out of the magic and character and all this. Everything is just getting worked on the right amount that it starts to make sense. And of course, yes, I'm spending more time in the world, so, you know, experience will equal fucking knowledge to some extent. But I do think that Lawrence has taken the time to kind of explain a little bit more. We're touching on the ins and outs of the magic system, and it didn't feel confusing. It didn't feel... Everything about the magic was hitting on all cylinders, and that was a big thing I noticed coming into book 2. An area where these stories really excel is the world building, and that's not surprising because Mark Lawrence is an intelligent writer, and he has shown that his worlds can be intriguing, compelling, interesting as all shit, okay? This is definitely one of his strong points, and it shows once again here in book 2, okay? Abbott is a very intriguing place. It's frozen as all fuck, and so it's kind of frightening. But the more that we tromp around in here, the more that we get to learn about this place. It's not just a frozen piece of ice. There is so much more than meets the eye, and I love how Lawrence slowly unfolds it all for the reader. And I have to say, for fans of his work, his overall body of work, this one was a lot of goddamn fun because you start to see the connections that Lawrence has built where he's just bringing you in, even tighter to his world, into his fold. So for fans of Lawrence that have read a lot of his work, when you read this book, you're going to have some moments. Okay, so I know I said that I didn't really care for the characters, but I kind of want to talk about that real quick. It's just that it's not that I hated them. I just didn't necessarily have these overwhelming emotions about them. But a nice touch that Lawrence adds to the crew here is an animal companion. And I'm not going to touch on any more than that just because of spoilers, but I do really love this little addition to the crew. Where these books really shine, besides the world building for me, is really in their structure and pacing. Now, I do think that book 1 was paced a little bit better than book 2, but man, still, book 2 has some really good pacing. I got through this thing pretty goddamn fast, and it wasn't like I was speed reading. It's just the way that the story unraveled itself for me. It just went right along. And there are things that Lawrence is doing in these books that I notice, and it's just impressive, okay? What he's done is he's able to hook you as a reader, right? Like, he leaves you kind of hanging or dangling just in the right amount that you want to push forward. So at the end of a chapter, you're like, oh, fuck, I can't leave it there. I gotta see what happens next. He is the king of doing this in these stories. I swear to God, I have never read something that felt more like a bingeable Netflix show. The way that it's structured and the way that it ends on chapters or even at the ends of the books is very much how it ends of episodes or, season, like the last episode in a season. This is how this story is really unfolding and being revealed to the reader. So it sucks you in, it grabs you. Yes, does it leave you hanging? Sure, but it's leaving you hanging in the most fucking anticipating ways. You're ready for the next bit. And that's a good thing. Now, as far as my 2 cents for the slow and the struggling, yes, absolutely, guys. These books are for you. For one, the page count is not egregious. These things are not door stoppers. They're really right in my sweet spot for page count, but also the chapter lengths are fairly short as well. So if you wanted to, you could easily read a chapter and put the book down. But guess what? Once you read that chapter, I'm betting that you're going to be a little compelled to read the next one, and that's really what makes me want to recommend these, especially to struggling readers. Because if you guys are struggling to get through the story, maybe you're being bogged down by this or that, maybe you're just losing interest halfway. These are the kinds of stories that grab you by the shirt, hold you real close, tell you the whole thing before they let you go. So you get all of the goods, okay? It's compelling. It's engaging. These are things that you should probably be interested in if you're having a hard time with reading. Well, all right, guys. As always, thanks for spending some time down here at the channel. And to Mark Lawrence, a gadoosh, 2 thumbs up, man. Holy smokes. Man, never in my life would I thought I'd be so interested in this kind of a story, man. And that, to me, is just an impressive show of skill. I just, once again, man. And now I'm going to have to get into Books of Ancestor. I did hear, guys, that, trust me, like I said, there are some connections for Mark Lawrence fans. But I did see this little thing online that Mark Lawrence said, before the final book of Ice comes out, you might want to read Red Sister, just because, maybe there's a connection. Maybe there's not. I don't know. Read the books, all right? All right. Well, guys, my thing with these, don't fucking care. Do as you will. I know you will. All right. Peace.